What's going on YouTube? This is Sean and I'm finally back. And in this video we're going to be working on the Stormbreaker, which is Thor's new hammer. I think that's what it is. There isn't really many reference pictures to work off of, but I did find a couple that kind of helped a little bit. So I'm going to start sketching up my design on this, let's call it the high-tech brown paper sack template maker. Yeah. So I'm going to start off by sketching out all these designs and have a bunch of inner designs, and I'm going to start cutting it out, starting from the outside and working my way in. At first I was like, what am I going to make this out of? I mean, I could make it out of wood, but then I would have to cut and do a lot of sanding, or I could make it out of styrofoam, which wouldn't be as strong. And I can't find dark matter from a dying star, so I'm just gonna stick with EVA foam because why not, right? Now I've already got my paper templates cut out and I've already started tracing the outer pattern, and then I'm gonna go back in and cut some more inner patterns out and trace that on there before I start to cut so much of it out. The edge of the blades needs to be beveled in, but I eventually found out that this beveling right here wasn't enough, so I ended up having to take it to the sander. But before I took it to the sander, I needed to do more undercuts, and this thing has a whole lot of undercuts. I'm going to start by giving the edge of the blade bevel-ish looking thingy by giving it a V-groove undercut. So I'm going to draw this line and I'm going to score it halfway through, and then I'm going to make an angle cut right next to it, making a V groove, but not so V, more like a slanted V. Yeah. And then you're going to repeat this process on the other inside of the blade. Is that a hammer or is it an axe? I don't know. It looks like both, so we're going to call it Hamax, which is the Stormbreaker Hamax. Then I went to the paper template and I cut out the inner design, and I'm going to transfer that pattern over to the foam, so that way I know where to apply glue. Now I did cut the edge of the blade off, and I'm going to have to tape it back together so I can get the other templates, so that way I can transfer those patterns over to the foam. Now I'm going to use a wood burner to burn in this lines, these details. You kind of see where I'm going with this? Yeah, you do. Now I'm going to cut the inner of the inner pattern out, so that way I can transfer that pattern over to the foam. Then I'm gonna take that and trace it onto this white craft foam that has adhesive back in, which is really easy and cool because it saves me from applying glue to that. Now I went and drew some lines right here, and I think that's where I need to sand my inner bevel thingy. Now I did really have to focus really hard to get this nice and smooth and straight, but towards the end of it I was like, you know what? It's just cosplay, bro. Don't judge me. Don't do it. Only God of Thunder can judge me. Now that I got all that sanding done and out of the way, I'm going to go and fill in all my V-groove undercuts with contact cement, and making sure I get all the edges and the sides, like right here, which was also cut in an inward angle, so I can glue the other pieces on there. And then I went ahead and sanded down the foam right about here, so I can glue the stick, which is made out of regular wood, not the kind of wood that you would get off of Groot. Not that I'm saying that the handle was made out of Groot's roots, but it could happen. I mean, why wouldn't Groot wanna give up a root? You know what I'm saying? I went and applied some low temp hot glue to this. This is not a V-groove, it's just a regular cut, and I'm doing that because I want it to bevel out, whereas these V-groove undercuts, they'll bevel in once I glue all the pieces together. And now I'm gluing the top and the bottom of the hammer side of the Hamax. Now I did cut these edges in a slight angle cut, that way when I glue them together they'll bevel, and You got the V-groove undercut and the 45-degree cut. Well, they're not really 45-degree cuts, because then it would be a 90-degree when you join them together, right? Because I'm not really good at math, so please somebody tell me if I'm right, or am I right? Now that I got the hammer side of the hammocks done, it's time to do the axe side of the hammocks. I'm going to glue the V-groove undercuts together, and then I'm going to attach the 2 pieces that I sanded right there. And so far, so groovy, and I'm starting to dig what I'm cooking. You guys been waiting for that one for a long time now, huh? Yeah, you have. Now that I have both sides done, it's time to insert the wooden handle. And then I'm going to close up the front of the hammer hammocks. And then I'm going to cut that out of my high-tech cardboard aided design. Yeah. Then I'm going to take this pattern and I'm going to transfer it over to some EVA foam. And I'm going to cut the lines in an inward angle cut. That way they will join up nicely to the hammer side of the hammocks. Then I'm going to apply my contact cement to the hammocks. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply contact cement to all the accented areas. Yeah, and as soon as the glue dry to attack, I'm going to go ahead and put everything together. Nice and whatever. The best part of using this EVA foam that has a sticky backside to it is that I don't have to apply contact cement. Well, at least to that piece. I mean, I do have to apply contact cement to wherever I'm sticking it to. But if you're actually using it on paper or wood or whatever, then yeah, I think you can just get away without applying contact cement. I wouldn't put it on clothes and expect it to stay on there permanently. I don't know though. I haven't tried. I should try it though. So I use this material to cover all the edges or gap areas. And now I'm taking my wood burner and I'm carefully going in there and burning in all those extra little details, because it just makes sense. Yeah. And then I'm going to slap on a few more details. And then I'm going to take my Dremel tool and I'm going to sand everything down round and smooth. Now I'm going to take a roll of this floor mat and I'm going to wrap the handle with it. And normally when I get these floor mats, exercising floor mats, they're rolled up the other direction. But whenever I purchase it, I would cut them into small strips and then I'll run them through my oven and then roll it the other way while it's still warm. And if you're wondering, how the heck did I fit that thing in my oven? Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it in my cooking oven. That's ridiculous. I mean, I have a pizza oven out in the back. And if you don't have one, I highly recommend you getting one. A pizza oven, that is. Now, I roughly cut all the pieces and I glued it together. I mean, I'm not being all perfect or anything like that. I mean, I'm just trying to make a wooden handle look like a wooden handle out of foam. That didn't make sense. Then I took some strip of scrap foam and I wrapped it around the handle as if it was holding the hammocks to the wooden handle. Then I took a Dremel and I went and tried to grind in some wood grain, but that didn't work so well. So I went and took my wood burner and then I burnt in the wood grain. So now my wooden handle looks more like a wooden handle. Now my Stormbreaker is starting to look pretty legit. What do you think? I decided to try out this product. It's called Gesso. I guess so. So that way I can paint this light brown acrylic paint onto my handle. And then I'm using my hairdryer to accelerate the drying process because I don't like sitting around watching paint dry. Now it's starting to look more like wood, but not woody enough. So I took some brown paint, mixed it up with some black paint, and gave me some dark brown. And then I splashed it on, and then I wiped off the excess leaving some paint in the crevices, making it look way cooler. I flipped it over and I did the other side and repeat the process over. Man, look at that. I have never seen wood look so pretty. Yeah. And let's not forget these guys right here. I mean, they need some loving too. Now, I went and paint the hammocks part black, so that way I can throw some chrome paint on there. And it makes it easier to go back and touch it up. All that overspray that I sprayed on there earlier. And then I'm going to wait for this one to dry. Then I'm going to apply some sterling silver acrylic paint with the paintbrush, because I didn't want to overspray all over my nicely done woodworking. Now, this is one coat of sterling silver, and it's looking a little more like gunmetal at the moment. So I'm going to go back and put another coat of silver on it and hope for the best. Even if it doesn't, it still looks pretty cool to me. I don't know. Here is the final product, and it's looking pretty legit. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? I think I'm going to do some torture tests to this hammer Stormbreaker. If you're really into this kind of stuff, well, the template will be available at my Facebook for free. You just go over there and just download the picture and print it out, scale it however big you want it. I mean, you can make it as big as a house. I don't really care. I mean, you can make it as small as a pen. I don't know why you'd go that route, but you know, you just do you. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something. Make sure you hit that like button if you got something out of this video. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed. I have been working on my new MakerSpace, and I am so excited to show you guys my new spot, but I'm still working on it. So it is, if you guys were wondering what I've been doing this last couple months. I've been really busy, so yeah, stay tuned for that, because you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, you'll be glad that you stuck around. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.